the distinguished gentlelady from Texas for very eloquent and thoughtful remarks, and for putting forth some very important policy prescriptions for what we in the Congress can do to help advance the agenda on behalf of small businesses all across this country, and certainly in the women and minority-owned business context. I also want to note, I'm thankful that Representative Clark mentioned one of the important immigrant businesses that began in the Bronx, New York, but has spread all across the country, the Golden Crust Caribbean Bakery and Grill, as well as I thank the distinguished gentlewoman from Texas for highlighting some of the important businesses that have sprouted up in Houston, Texas. Those are just a few examples of what entrepreneurs in the black immigrant community and the African American community have done all across the land. And all we're saying is we want to make sure that we provide these businessmen and women the same opportunities others throughout time in America have had, because if we do, they will be able to translate their entrepreneurial spirit, their innovative ideas, their vision into reality that will make economic sense for their communities and lead to the hiring of American citizens and others who need the employment opportunities that these small businesses will continue to generate. Just a few observations in closing. One of the things that was mentioned earlier today on the floor was the fact that many small businesses confront an uncertain economic environment. And as a result of this uncertainty, they are unable to move forward in any concrete fashion because they don't know when the next crisis will hit our economy. Are we going to default on our debt? Are we going to fall over the fiscal cliff? How long are we going to be dealing with sequestration? And I would suggest to my good friends on the other side of the aisle that if we really want to help out small businesses and entrepreneurs, we've got to figure out a way to come together and find common ground as it relates to moving our economy forward. Because as long as we're in this period of uncertainty, it will be difficult for small businesses and for entrepreneurs to take any step forward as it relates to growing their businesses and allowing them to be more prosperous. Now, there's a vehicle for us to try and find common ground. For 4 years, my good friends on the other side of the aisle were complaining about the fact that we were not in regular order, that the Senate failed to pass a budget. This year, a budget resolution was passed in the House of Representatives. A budget resolution was passed in the Senate. Two very different visions for where we should go as a country. But the vehicle to find common ground is to move forward with a conference committee. The majority in the Senate has indicated they are prepared to move forward and appoint conferees, but the Speaker of the People's House refuses to do so, even though for the last 4 years, folks were complaining about the absence of regular order. If you want to do something about small businesses, what we should do in America is figure out how we in the Congress can come together, find common ground, create some economic certainty so these entrepreneurs can move forward. I don't know if my good friend has any parting comments, but let me just say that we in the CBC are committed to continuing to stand up for entrepreneurship in America, for opportunity, for the fruitful pursuit of the American dream through innovation. And we extend an olive branch to members of the other side of the aisle on this issue and on all other issues, so we can finally find a way to come together and move this economy forward in a way that should benefit all Americans. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired.